Fallout TV show finds itself in kind of an odd spot right now. We just got a pretty major update on the show that reveals a lot about what's coming. This from some of the new set photos that have been shared online that confirm at least one major faction return, but also some change-ups in the lore, which I'm sure will get Fallout fans feeling a particular way. But outside of that, in terms of official updates, we haven't heard much from Bethesda or even the creators of the show with Kilter Films in a while. So in this video, I also want to talk about a potential Fallout event that could be coming in the not-so-distant future. And this video gets even better because I'm going to help you eat good this summer. That with today's video sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is truly the best of both worlds. You get a knock at the door and this big box of food is going to show up. So on one hand, this will save you time by having to avoid those terrifying aisles at the grocery store, but also money. Since all of your ingredients are already pre-portioned, you're only going to get what you'll use, reducing your waste by 23% compared to grocery shopping. But the best part is HelloFresh comes with some incredibly easy to follow instructions. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing in the kitchen, but I still can create some pretty tasty looking meals. And trust me, HelloFresh can very quickly start to become a lifestyle. You'll find yourself looking forward to the meals each week, but you'll never get bored as there's over 40 recipes to choose from, including some special seasonal items that are only available at their times of peak ripeness. But it gets even better. Since you watch this video, you can get all of this for a seriously good deal. Use my link or go to hellofresh.com and use code POGJUICEJOEL50 for 50% off plus free shipping. Once you click, my description will live update to count the purchases. But first, let's look at some of the new set photos to drop. These come from Prince to Cat on Reddit, where they describe how these photos were taken in December of 2022 and how these photos were taken at a hospital. From the photos as well as the singular video, we get a pretty clear picture of what is going on here. Vault-Tec is going to be involved in the Fallout TV show. We can see their faction logo plainly painted on the ground, actually quite largely painted on the ground. But where things get a bit more interesting is we're at a Vault-Tec hospital, kind of, as it seems like in the Fallout TV show, they're going to be establishing a new subsidiary of Vault-Tec with Hawthorne. There's going to be some kind of medical division of Vault-Tec, and based off this van, they are described as medical laboratories, with perhaps one of the most interesting parts about these photos being this guy who is actively walking up to the entrance of this facility. It very much so looks like this is a member of the Brotherhood of Steel. This outfit is almost an exact match to the outfits they wear in game. Specifically for me, these two dots we can see on the shoulder as well as this central rectangle are pretty dead giveaways. It really seems to confirm that this is going to be a Brotherhood of Steel member, and based on the coloring of the outfit, it almost looks like it could be a Brotherhood of Steel scribe. Brotherhood scribes are responsible for documenting and preserving information, and with all that in mind, we have a super interesting setup here. This is post-war, as you can see by the destroyed surroundings. So we have somebody who I think is a member of the Brotherhood of Steel stumbling upon an old Vault-Tec medical laboratory. Vault-Tec is best known for its involvement in, of course, the vaults, and we know the Fallout TV show is going to have several of these. We have seen a variety of set photos from both Vault 33 and Vault 32, showing quite distinctive but also incredibly interesting interiors for each of those. But of course, the core component of the Fallout vaults are all of the messed up experiments that are occurring within them. There's nothing immediately obvious at Vault 32 or Vault 33 as to what these experiments could be. We could see some cribs and baby things in a destroyed vault, but also a farming area, and honestly, neither of these really confirm much one way or another. But I think this is all going to tie together with the Hawthorne Medical Laboratories. Vault-Tec is conducting around 100 human experiments, and in that process, you probably want a laboratory or two to back you up, whether it be prototyping some of the chems or other supplies that are being distributed and entered into these vaults, or just something else entirely. In Fallout lore, Vault-Tec experimentation was largely done for the Enclave. The Enclave wanted to use the results of these experiments for something, and in turn, a lot of the Vault-Tec funding came from them. But I think in the Fallout TV show, we might be seeing a nice expansion on the lore here, getting a deeper dive into what exactly Vault-Tec was doing, and even further, how active of a role they were truly playing in the horrors of the vaults and their experiments. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see the Enclave having a fairly large presence here as well. In some past set photos, we can see what appears to be Enclave members within a military base. This was filmed at the real-life Brooklyn Army Terminal, and we could see blacked-out soldiers holding laser rifles, but also likely connected are Vault-Tec scientists pushing around something or someone on a stretcher. These scientists are wearing an almost exact replica of the in-game Vault-Tec scientist uniforms, so it seems like we'll be seeing some Vault-Tec characters at some point, although it's not entirely clear if this is going to be pre or post-war. And combining that together with the more recent set photos, it could all connect together in a really interesting way. Vault-Tec is doing some kind of experimentation on people, and the Enclave are intimately involved. Them having a medical laboratory where some of this occurred just makes a ton of sense. And to really add a dark undertone to this, the Brooklyn Army Terminal is a train terminal, and in some of these photos we could see a train car listing live cargo. Perhaps these experimented on individuals are being shipped around for further study. And even from just a couple of photos and characters, I think we have a pretty clear example of at least one plotline that we're going to see explored in the show. The background of both Vault Tech and the Enclave and the experiments going on in the vaults. But then of course we also have what I think is a Brotherhood of Steel member getting involved. The Brotherhood of Steel are basically confirmed to be a part of the series, because on one hand it's Bethesda and they've always involved the Brotherhood, but in the past we've also seen some power armor that does have the Brotherhood Knight insignia labeled on it. So I think here we are seeing a show adapted take on the typical Brotherhood of Steel outfit, but it's a bit curious as to what exactly is going on here. We have a Brotherhood member that seems to be alone, holding some kind of makeshift pistol that I wasn't able to ID, but it almost looks like they're talking to somebody who is within the lab. So perhaps this is just going to be one of the extra or side characters and they're talking to the main protagonist. It's hard to infer much else from these, but one of the other factions that we know are very likely going to have a major presence here is the NCR. In the past, we have seen what appears to be an NCR flag inside of Vault 33, as well as in another shared photo, we see a building labeled as the NCR headquarters, which if we're anywhere near the HQ of the NCR, you have to imagine they're going to have a fairly giant role in this series overall. And it's interesting to picture how this all occurred. The NCR was founded in 2186, over 100 years after the bombs dropped, and of course over 100 years after basically all of the vaults closed. Which would mean for this NCR flag to be within a vault, the vault had to have opened and the NCR basically moved in after the fact and decided to call it home or just some kind of home or base. But at the same time, we still see the people inside of the vault still in full-on vault suits. So perhaps there's going to be some plotline where a vault opens up and the NCR is trying to take control of it and eventually succeeds. Almost being pretty similar to what happened in some of the earlier Fallout games with the NCR taking over Vault City. Overall, the Fallout TV show thus far has looked epic, and this new series of photos is actually pretty massive in my eyes. Thus far, we've seen a lot of familiar things, a stunning vertibird and minigun mounted, insanely accurate recreations of some of the vaults, and even dog meat. But now we can see they're expanding the lore also, which gets me pretty excited, and specifically because of who is expanding the lore here. Jonathan Nolan is executive producing, writing, and directing some of the Fallout TV show. His past writing works include Westworld, The Prestige, and The Dark Knight, among a ton of other top-tier things. This guy wrote my favorite TV show of all time, as well as my top 2 movies of all time. So yeah, I definitely trust him to do some interesting or cool things with the Fallout lore, and exploring more of Vault Tech and their history is definitely something I would love to see. But of course, one of the other big questions is when do we see or hear more? As I film this, both SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild of America are striking. This led to many concerns around the release of the Fallout TV show being delayed as a result. Although things may actually be okay here. The Fallout TV show seemed to have wrapped filming in March of this year, which likely means many of the actors and writers are no longer really involved in the production, and instead, hopefully the Fallout TV show is largely in editing now. The Editors Guild did successfully avoid a strike with a deal just a few weeks ago, so barring the need for reshoots, things likely are still progressing for the Fallout TV show. And this is what brings me to that theory of a mini Fallout event. Right now, Bethesda has several Fallout-related announcements that they still have to make in 2023. Whatever update they want to share on the Fallout TV show, whether that just be some more official images or even a trailer finally coming out, but also news on the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. This was confirmed to be coming in 2023, at least as of last year, and based off SteamDB, things are still being worked on for the Fallout 4 Next Gen update, as well as any details they want to share on the new Fallout 76 DLC that's supposedly coming this winter. We got a teaser for this during the summer showcase, but we don't know exactly when this is dropping. Right now, of course, the marketing machine is really focused on Starfield, but I think a smaller scale showcase or event in October around Bomb's drop day could make a ton of sense, being pretty similar to what they did in the past to announce Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Perhaps we just get a short trailer for the TV show, a short trailer and release date for the next gen version, and some details on whatever's coming to Fallout 76. And honestly, that's my current expectation. I've seen a lot of questions as to what's going on with those specific projects, and I think they have something coming, all of them probably tying together in some way. You also have to imagine with the Fallout TV show, they want some tie-ins with their existing games. We've seen a lot of other companies do that, especially CD Projekt Red, who did it to an insane degree of success. With all that said, if you want to find out more about what's going on with Bethesda's future, or even the next Fallout game, check out this video where we really dive into that.